Welcome everybody to our episode 4. I'm Blaine Austin with Sewing Machines Plus, and we're here at Facebook Live and YouTube Live today. And we've got a great show for you. We've got Nathan from Grace back again with some exciting news to share. And one of the things I want to tell y'all about today, we have started today with all the virus things that are going on in America right now. A lot of our customers still want to come to the store. So what we're doing is we've started a drive-up service. So if you want to come and get supplies at our store today, all the way through till next week, you can just call us, place an order at the store, or just drive up, and you don't even have to call, and we'll come out and take your order and fill your order for you, take your payment. We've got some tablets that are mobile. We can walk right out to your car, and you don't even have to get out of your car, and we'll load your car for you. So anybody that wants to do that, feel free to drive up and visit the store. And also, any machine purchase over $500, you can call in, give us your payment over the phone, and we'll actually deliver it to you. So that way you don't even have to get out of your house if you don't want to. So we're trying to do everything we can to help our customers out there, you know, continue to shop with us and get your supplies. Because I know if you're home, you know, you're probably going to be sewing because there's nothing really else to do. So anyway, I wanted to tell you all about that, and also wanted to tell you about sending your tips in. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, we launched the tips. So if you have a sewing tip, embroidery tip, or a quilting tip, something that you want to share with everybody, send it to tips@SewingMachinesPlus.com. And if we read your tip on the air, we'll give you a $100 gift card where you can either shop online, or if you're local, you can actually come in the store and shop. So that's some of the things we've got going. So don't forget that tips. If you got a great tip you want to share with everybody, sewing related, we would love to share it. So, hey, without further ado, I want to introduce Nathan from Grace Sewing Company is with us today. Hey, Nathan, how are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Hey, thanks for having me back on here with everybody. Appreciate it. Love being here.
Thank you. Hey, first of all, I got to ask, I know y'all had a huge earthquake over there in Utah yesterday. How's everything and how are you?
That's a good question. You know, I know being from Salt Lake, we don't get them probably as much as those in California and maybe other parts, but I'll tell you, it's not something that happens often. It was the 5th largest in recorded history for Utah.
Oh, wow.
Some of those were clear back in the early 1900s. So, in fact, our entire family woke up to the house shaking. Yeah, a little intense, but we got through it all. You know, it's kind of funny.
That's crazy. I see. Hey, Chris Perry, Chris from Palm Coast, Florida is on board.
Hey, Chris.
With us today. And is that either or? I like that, either or. Hi, either or. We got some folks already joining this morning. And Beth. Hey, Beth, how are you? She's on board.
Yeah,
Nathan,
so I was going to mention a little bit more about that. You know, as things continue to happen, kind of as you mentioned, there's some things that you're really doing within your business to help, you know, everybody feel a little bit more comfortable. You know, being at home, you know, with the earthquake, it's just kind of adding one more layer. We're still good. Our business is up and going. Everybody's in the office today. We did send employees home half a day yesterday because we kept on getting a few trembles. But as far as a whole, as a business, we're pretty excited about what's still going on. We're excited about what's still coming up as the future, and just letting everybody know that they can be comfortable and confident that we are, you know, knowing that there's a lot of individuals out there that are probably, you know, concerned, and there's good reason to be. But, you know, being strong, and with our business, we're going to try to do all we can to continue to make sure our employees are safe. And then outside of that, make sure to still deliver goods. We find that in times like this, people do stay in home. And if they're looking to do what they love doing, we want to help them do more of what they love doing even more. So hopefully we can continue to help people with doing their hobbies and being able to provide some of the quilts. Now might be a better time than ever to prepare a quilt to give to somebody. So again, we're fully open and shipping, and we have a lot of good stock. So we're in a good spot to continue to be around and continue to push through this. So just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing that. When I heard the news of the earthquake, first person I thought of was you. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope everything's okay over there. So, and I text you and just check on you, and you confirmed that you were okay. So, I know
Thanks.
that earthquakes are scary, when you go through those. And like you said, we're kind of doing the same thing. We've had customers come up to us already and say, man, we're so happy that your stores are open. So, because we're home and, we want to be able to get supplies. And it's kind of funny. It's like one lady told me day before yesterday that when you're home and you start a new project, you always need something. They're like, never fails. I'm out of, I need a needle or I need thread, something, and they have to run to the store. And they were so afraid that we would be closed. But, we're going to stay open as long as they're going to let us stay open. And one great thing about our online business, the website, will stay open. It's going to be open 24 hours a day regardless. And as long as the shipping carriers are moving products and still working, we're going to be able to ship products to anybody in the United States. So that's a good thing, for them.
That is good. I read a couple reports that they're trying to make sure that still happens as well. So I think, people are shifting maybe a little bit on their behaviors. And I think the online, since you guys have been there for, I don't know how many years have you guys been online? It's been forever. There's a lot of strength in being available for customers and being there digitally as well as physically. So that's great to hear.
Yeah. So, well, I'm glad you joined us this morning. I know that, you were here, I think it was about 4 weeks ago, and we had a big special with your hoop frame, and that hoop frame, blew up. I mean, it is unbelievable how many hoop frames that we've sold since then. And that is such a great product. And so if you could tell our viewers a little bit about the hoop frame and what makes it so special.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you bringing that up. I think one of the reasons this product has been so successful is I like to ask this question, how many customers currently have a machine at home? If I were to ask everybody here online, everybody's putting a hand up. They're like, I have one. And then usually it's, well, I have two. And then some people are like, yeah, I have three. We find that people do have those machines at home. And one of the things I thought about recently and why this is done so well is, if I were to talk to anybody who has a machine, and if you think about this, if I could tell them if they've quilted or if they're piecing, that I have an accessory. It's an accessory for your machine that allows them to do more of what they love doing. If they love to piece and if they're trying to quilt, I have an accessory that just makes that process of finishing quilts a little bit easier. And it gives that access to more people than we've been able to in the past. I think a lot of people would say, yeah, what is that? Why don't you tell me a little bit about that accessory? And it is this hoop frame. As you're looking at some of these pictures, it's a little bit different. It is the size of about a love seat or a medium-sized desk, and you can quilt up to a king-size quilt. So, out there in the industry, people are usually asking questions if they think about quilting. They usually think if I'm going to try to finish this, I know a friend or I've seen in a store these really big systems, and aren't they really expensive? And I'm guessing they're kind of difficult to use. And we've really tried to simplify that by coming out with a tool. Again, that's an accessory for your machine that converts your machine into a quilting system.
That's awesome. And I think that's what's made this thing so popular is that you can use a machine that you have at home already, just any domestic machine. And it's amazing. And we've sold a lot of combos too with some of the Quilting machines. So I think that we can talk a little bit about those today too. But first of all, I want you to kind of announce what we're going to do with this hoop frame again. I mean, we're actually doing something very special.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. We ran a promotion, and this is interesting. So I'm in charge of, I'm the director of marketing and sales, and I'm in charge of trying to decide what might we do as a promotion, what product should we run. And I was talking with my team, my marketing team, and I thought, unless I'm a little uncomfortable, it's probably not extreme enough. And so one of those things we were looking to do is just how do we make an item like this? How do we take one of these frames that converts your domestic machine into a quilting system, and how do we make that more achievable by a much wider group of quilters out there or sewers? and we had a promotion. The promotion that we're doing now, and part of this is we had kind of stopped the previous promotion, but I think there's this little bit of everybody's a little tentative. Everybody's a little on edge, I think, with what's kind of going on. Going out to eat has changed. You might be able to do drive-through or delivery, and I think mentally we're all a little bit more worried about touching the things that are around us or being in big groups. And I feel like there's this emotional stress that comes along with all that. Well, with people being at home again, I was trying to think, hey, we just stopped one of the best promotions we've ever had. Let's kind of put that back out there. It's great to sell stuff, but at the other side, if we're now in this time where we're probably going to do a little bit more of what we love to do in our home, if there's a way to kind of put this back out there, we wanted to do so. So we were able to take a frame, normally at $1,500, and a light bar that's normally at about $450. So this combo is right around $1,950. And we're bringing that back out as a promotion for $989 right now, and putting that back and making that available for everybody to kind of take a look again and see if there's interest. Trying to just make that even more affordable than what it normally is. So that's the exciting thing, is we're bringing the promotion back at $989, giving and including it on top of just the frame. We're also including the luminous light bar, which is a freestanding light bar that can go over the hoop frame, or if you have a current sewing area, this is on casters, and so it can be wheeled around and moved over other areas in your studio as well. So we think it's a pretty strong promotion. And again, like you said, Blaine, we saw a lot of people take advantage of this here last month, and we thought we'd like to bring that back and let that run for another few weeks for those people that are now back at home.
Man, I am so glad you did too, because I think that was such a great promotion. And we could tell, I mean, our, sales just skyrocketed on the hoop frame. And so, and it's amazing when you do that, how, people will jump on that special. And man, when I was so excited when you said that you wanted to try to extend that again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a great time for somebody who wants to get into quilting, has never really tried it before, and they can try it very inexpensively with this frame and actually put their domestic machine on it. So I think that is just such a great time for somebody to get into quilting if they want to do it. And they can do what's behind me back here on that frame with their domestic machine. So that just shows you that anything is possible with one of those machines. So I'm so happy that you did that.
Yeah, let me maybe just share a couple more things. You bring up some great points with that. Again, we are glad to be able to bring that back out. Some people tend to ask, and we ask them about their quilting experience. We first want to know, how big are the quilting right now? One of the things that you might find with restrictions with other systems is you think you need a whole room in order to do so. Well, you can complete any size quilt up to an incredibly large king size on this smaller 4.5-foot frame. And so if you think mentally, can I put this 4.5-foot frame in a space? You're not going to be limiting yourself to the size of the project you can do. So you still can do any size project. And you also brought up, the domestic machines. There's a tray and a trolley that the machine sits on that allows you to easily place the machine on this frame when you're wanting to do the quilting, and then allows you to easily take it back off to do all of your other sewing. So you don't have to feel like you're committing the machine to the space or to the frame. And so that machine becomes multifunctional and works for all your sewing. And if you're doing embroidery, great. When you're ready to quilt, it does easily just move over to the frame. And again, opens up your capacity. I like to talk about customers when they're rolling that rail. They're getting all the roll and they're trying to push it around in the machine's throat. And I will talk to people and say, well, what's difficult? And they're talking about the weight. They talk about the heat. They talk about having to sew upside down and backwards if you were to sign your name. And so this frame really starts to eliminate those key things. No fabric management. You don't have to hold and struggle and push and pull. And we always like to talk about that it's like taking a pen over a sheet of paper and drawing your name. So again, it just makes it a little bit easier for our quilters to complete quilts.
I love that analogy that you gave. And I remember you kind of told me that, I think a year or so ago, about, holding the paper under the pen and trying to write your name versus taking a pencil or pen and write on it. And that's kind of the way quilting is. The free motion is the paper you're pushing under, whereas the machine, it's so much easier to do that. And I had never thought about that until you had mentioned that. And I love that analogy. And I think everybody can really understand it a lot easier that way, which I know there's some great free motion quilters out there that move that quilt under the needle. But I tell you what, the beginners, it is so much easier to take that machine and move it and move it around. So I like that part real well.
Yeah, you're right. And, I think the customers, outside of a space and a function, they do ask, can I do this? Am I going to have to learn a new skill or a new talent? Yeah, there's going to be a little bit, but I'll tell you, to your point, if you were to take and just sign your name with your hand, we've done that for years and years, and that muscle memory is easy. If you just draw a stick figure, how easy it is for us to draw a stick figure. Hey, we can do that, and it's not a complicated process. And so taking the machine and, in a way, making it your drawing tool does make it a lot easier for pretty much most of the quilters out there. They feel more confident because their entire lives they've been writing or drawing or moving the pen over the paper. And so this gives them that same chance. And they pick it right up quickly. And again, that makes them feel successful out of the gate by being able to do so.
That's awesome. So the exciting news is that we've got a ton of giveaways today. And
Wonderful.
So if anybody is on air today and you make a comment, your name's going to automatically be in for the drawing. And so over here I don't know if y'all can see all the things I've got here. I've got a lot of, quilting related items that we're going to give away. But the big giveaway is actually you're giving it away. And tell everybody what we're giving away today.
It's pretty exciting. So, I'm going to come back to you, Blaine, on this. I want to say you always do a fantastic job at trying to take care of your customers. And so I'll just put that out there that thanks to Blaine and Sewing Machines Plus for asking about this, but he wanted to know what we could do. There are a lot of things we could do. We decided that we wanted to give those who were a chance to those who are viewing today, a chance when they submit their name like you're talking about or a comment into a drawing. We're going to give away a full hoop frame. So I'm going to give away a full hoop frame. In fact, let me up the ante a little bit on this. How about I'm going to give you the full promo that we're doing. I'm going to give one set away with a light bar as one of those offers. And so that actually is going to be upped up a little bit. And I'll make that the deal that I'll hook up and we'll put that as one of the drawing opportunities today. So I'm going to donate a hoop frame with a light bar to part of this today's cause. So
did y'all hear that in the background back there?
That's a good one. That's a big deal. That's a good promo.
That is a huge deal, man. So all the customers that are on, what do y'all think about that? Nathan giving away a hoop frame. That's like a $1,500 normal price. And then you're throwing the light bar on top of that. That is incredible.
Normally about $450. So we'll just do that. Awesome.
And Cindy, Cindy's saying, wow. So make your comments up there. Betty said that would be wonderful. So make some comments. Tell us what you think about that. I think that's unbelievable. And I see Karen. There's Betty again. Excuse me. So please make your comments and get entered into this automatically because we've got a ton of stuff to give away. Besides the hoop frame, I've got quite a few little things up here we're going to give away.
What else do you have over there, Blaine?
Well, the first thing I've got, it's some fabric. It's called the Scrap Box. And this is Free Spirit is the brand on it. Scrap Box. So it's just got some strips, fabric strips. I actually have 2 packs of quilting needles that we're going to give away. Another cool little thing that we've got one of those rotary cutters that you can cut fabric with that everybody just really loves. And I've got a pair of really good scissors that we're going to, fabric scissors that we're going to give away. And I think the next little thing, I'm going to kind of give it together. I've actually got one of the little rulers. You can do some ruler work and measurements. And then I've got this is Creative Notions long arm quilting machine tool set. So it's actually a little caddy that you can actually hang right on the machine and put some tools and things in it. So we've got all that to give away today. So it's kind of a quilting theme giveaway today.
That's quite a bit. That's a handful of stuff you're giving away. So I'm wishing now I'm putting my name down and putting some comments on there. So that's a lot of things.
Me too, because I mean, I would love to have that hoop frame and the light. I need the light probably more than anything so I can see better. You know, and when I'm working on things, I can't hardly see.
Yeah. Hey, can we bring back up that light again? I know we kind of flashed through a couple of those parts, but let me just maybe highlight a couple points on that light. It's pretty awesome. This light itself is an LED light bar system. So a lot of people want to know like what kind of light it is. It's a daylight, so it's a true color bulb. The bulbs being LED are incredibly low heat. That means it won't heat up the room they're in. It's not going to be hot over you on your project. Those LEDs were going to last for like 20,000 hours. It's also adjustable up and down. So if you, for example, would use the frame and you're going to stand, you could stand and adjust that light up. Or you'll notice here with the picture it over your cutting station, because it's on casters, you can just wheel it around in your area to different areas of your studio to use it for multi-purpose with what that is. So again, that's an exciting light, and you're right, it does work wonderful. When I work under them, I know when I'm done that I'm much happier, I feel like, by having that light with me and over me than I am when I'm having the shadows and it's a little bit harder to see. So again, that's a fun one to be able to have.
What is the retail if they just bought the light out by itself?
Normally $449, so just about $450 is normally what it retails for. So,
okay.
On your site, if somebody really wanted a larger one, you also carry the 10-foot version. It's about 600. So this is the 5-foot version. It's about 450.
And you know what's great about this? If you think about the price, we have the hoop frame and the light combo right now. If they just wanted to buy it, I mean, that's an incredible promo.
Looks like we just received a little bit of a ping from Sharon who says that she has that light. That's good to hear. Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
So Sharon, tell us, if you could real quick, tell us what you like most about that light. I'd like to kind of know so everybody can kind of, if you got some experience with it. Because one good thing about those LEDs, man, they are true color. You know, when you're working on fabric, that color, you're under a fluorescent light sometimes, fabric sometimes, you really can't tell exactly what the color is. But when you put it under a LED light like that, it is the true color. I mean, you can match up colors exact. And that's what I like when
that is great.
Fabric's there.
Yeah, there are different color LEDs, but we specifically wanted to find what they refer to kind of as daylight or true color. That's the most natural type of light we can get. And it really does help those colors look crisp and clear and clean. And it does make the matching a lot better as well. So,
hey, there's Pure King from Texas. So what part of Texas are you in? Because Texas is a big state, as everybody knows.
Yeah, quite big.
I drove across it. It took me like 2 days, I think, to drive across Texas. I didn't think I was ever going to get out of Texas. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today too, we've really not talked too much about your machine. So let's just say that, somebody has already got the hoop frame and they want to, upgrade to a different machine or even a different hoop. Because I know we do sell some 10-foot frames that you have and bigger frames. But I want to talk a little bit about your machines, because your machines, you have some great quilting machines, and they start at a 15-inch and go up. So if you could just kind of talk a little bit about the lineup and the little difference between each one, so our viewers can kind of get an idea of what's out there besides, if they want to upgrade from that domestic machine currently on their hoop frame even, what could they do?
For sure. There you go. Odessa.
She's in Odessa. Hello, Odessa.
With that, I'm going to step back right before those machines. You brought up a really interesting point when you started talking about the frame itself. Like, we have this hoop frame promo, and I think sometimes depending on how you see it marketed or advertised, I think it could draw additional questions in the mind, like, will my machine really fit on there or not? And then I think another one, which we're really big on, is we love to help customers start quilting wherever they can. And Some of those are just using their own domestic machines. If we can get them a frame at an affordable price, great. But one of the key things is to not have to force somebody to reinvest in that purchase down the road. And I didn't mention this, but that frame is adjustable. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our machines. But one of the good things is that frame, if you start with the domestic, can actually be expanded a little bit so that you can put a 15-inch machine, which is our entry-level size machine. I'm going to get into a 19-inch machine here in a minute as well, but that frame will accommodate up to a 19-inch machine. And so that's one of those other really big pluses is if you spend a little bit now, you can keep that investment and then reinvest in some of the machines. So
one of the things, Nathan, that they could do is say if they got the frame, you know how it's the size of a love seat, they could, and they using their domestic machine, they could upgrade it to all the way to a 19-inch machine, correct?
They can. So
it means that throat space, right?
Absolutely. So first, I always like to tell people, some people say, well, is it going to work, or what is it going to do with me, for me on my domestic? And I always tell them, again, fabric management is the #1 key thing, is you don't have to struggle. So if you can do that, and then the motion's #1, what we find is that once people get into quilting, I like to talk about their kind of 2 different quilters. The first one, they're going to have that frame and they're going to use their domestic machine, and they're probably not going to ever want to do anything else. And I say that because I've met several customers over years who have bought and might have Juki, or they might have a Janome like 1600 or some of these other branded machines, and they have loved their machine frame combo and they're not looking for anything else. However, again, like you're mentioning, so then the quilter #2 comes into play, and she's the person who's going to start to use this, and she starts to find out, wow, I'm actually getting more projects done in less time. And she's looking kind of to expand her quilting experience. And part of what you're talking about is the throat of that machine will then, as it increases, allows them to do more quilting at one time without managing the fabric. And I know, Blaine, from your side, you guys carry a whole selection of machines for that same purpose as well, right?
Right, we sure do. We have a ton of machines that work great on your frame. I think that's why it's been popular.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now it looks like there's a picture. This is the largest machine that will fit on this frame. This is our 19-inch machine. And so again, if you think of domestic, probably starting between 7, 10 inches, maybe 12. And if you look at that number in the middle there that has the 19, that's the increased space you would get from the needle to the back of the throat. And that means that you can quilt in that entire area over the width of that quilt before you have to then shift it. And so something like this 19, which is our midline machine, gives you quite a bit of capacity on that frame. And you get several other features with that, but we do have some 15-inch machines. I would believe on your site we have some manual ones, stitch regulated machines as well, for those that want to have that equal stitch length all the time. And what our goal is, again, is letting consumers step into that at from a financial perspective. It's something that they feel comfortable doing. So
now in the 15-inch, there's 3 different models. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, let me give you the names of those. Okay. And if people have questions, they're more than welcome to call your reps, but I'll just clarify a couple of things.
Okay, yeah, David can probably pull them up on the screen as you're talking about them.
Okay, great. I'm going to kind of mention that we have one called the 15M, and the M stands for manual. And what that means is that the machine's speed is fixed at a speed that you set, meaning it doesn't automatically speed up and it doesn't slow down. Still a great machine. And in fact, that runs like all the domestic machines do at home. So the 15M machine is a non-stitch regulated machine that, again, is really pretty much like all of the domestic machines that a consumer would use. Instead of using their foot pedal, they do have a button that they can turn on and off. It looks like there we go. We've got the 15M. Again, we find that there are fewer people who buy that. The next machine is the 15R. R stands for regulated. Now, Blaine, are you familiar with what regulation means, or a regulated machine?
I am, but I bet you we have some viewers that are not. So if you could explain what regulation means, it would be great.
I'll like to start off by saying it's a confidence component for the quilter. And, you know, if you ask any one of them, a lot of them do know, but what it means is when you move quickly or when you move slowly, that machine will keep the exact size stitch. So it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you go. The machine itself is automatically making the adjustments to speed up and slow down the machine.
That is really, really important too, isn't it?
It is. Again, I would say if I were to ask 100 customers how many of them want the regulation, 94 of those customers are going to say, yes, please give me regulation. So the next machine in that same lineup is the 15 Pro. And this machine is kind of in this 15 range, is kind of our best performer. A little bit quicker. It does come with a touch screen, and that doesn't mean a whole lot outside of when I tell a customer that our interface is directly working in touch with our fingers, which is what we do on our phones, and we want that immediate feedback. So by having the ability to have a touch screen, we actually can add more functionality as well. And it just seems to be a little bit more intuitive for our customers because they can just select a mode or change an option with the touch screen, and then they can, again, activate that machine to quilt. It as well has the stitch regulator plus additional functions because it has the touch screen also.
Yeah, I love that stair step, basically stepping. So somebody could get in with a manual, they could go to stitch regulation, or they could get into the Pro. So see, I'm a robotics quilter. So when we go to our quilt shows, I'm the one that gets on the robot. I can really make it look good.
Same here. I have done some free motion quilts. However, the most impressive ones come from some of the automated ones where I've actually designed the patterns themselves and have quilted them out automatically. I've done a 60 by 60 medallion type of a project once that was done on tool. It was pretty intense. And quick note, the hoop frame automation does work on it. So that's one of those things too. You don't have to sacrifice giving up the ability to go automated if you want to. And automation is available with some of the domestic machines. If we can stitch regulate your home machine, then we can computer automate that home machine. So that's a good thing to know.
Just so everybody knows what we're kind of talking about. When we're talking about automation and robotics, basically what we're doing is we're putting a program that's a computer program that actually we fit it on the machine and the frame, and we can pull up designs in that program, and it'll actually stitch that design on the quilt. So it'll basically make, if you wanted to do feathers or, quilt blocks with, stars in it, or these very unique things, it makes them perfect in every square that you do. And it's hands-free. You just basically set it up and let it go. So it's pretty awesome. And so, I know there's a lot of different levels of quilting, and there's a lot of, some people that are machine quilters, don't like robotics at all. They think that you're cheating, which I guess in a way you kind of are. But if somebody just wants to make some really nice quilts, man, robotics makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I do find that, again, there's a couple different types of customers. Some of those that buy the automation don't want to have to learn how to move the machine around a whole lot. So they're looking for some assistance. And so a lot of those people buy the automation. And I will tell you this, our automation, the one in which we manufacture, is the only one. It has the smarts that when you put it on the hoop frame, it actually knows the amount of space that it has to work with patterns, and it will actually help you quilt everything in there. It will then mark it for you. It then helps you shift your fabric. Some people have heard of what we call multi-hoop embroidery, but when you're going to do an embroidery piece over multiple hoops, this system's smart enough that it actually realigns it. It then asks you for the points and the parts that it already marked for you. And once it's realigned the pattern, it begins quilting, and it will go across the entire top of your quilt and work its way all the way through any size quilt you have. So there's a lot of smarts we've made to, again, make it even easier for the customer on a frame like this hoop style frame.
So I think we just had a question that came up, and I forgot where it went, but it said, Tina said, can it be used on any long arm?
So let me ask this question, and I always come back. Are we wanting to know potentially on the hoop frame, or are we looking to know on the automation? I'll kind of answer both. The hoop frame itself has been set to use domestic machines, and then there is a set of extended handles if somebody has like a 16-inch sit-down machine that they want to use on a frame. you can buy a handlebar set that lets that machine be used on the frame. And so it will accommodate several of the sit-down machines that are 16 and 18 inches. And so the hoop frame will work with those. Other long arms that are not the Grace Company branded, then I'm going to say the answer is no, because the track system's specific. And then let me answer that same question with the automation. The automation does work with several machines that are out there that are in the long arm category. What I would ask is to call, call Blaine, your team at Sewing Machines Plus, and ask them more about the compatibility. The product we do manufacture might be available with other brands, like you carry Juki on your site as well. Juki does sell our automation as an add-on for theirs. Ours specifically works with all of the domestic machines that we can stitch regulate, all of the Grace Company long arms, and we're continuously looking at adding additional compatibility also. So,
good answer. So, yeah, so I guess what we could do to answer her question, if she wants to, she could call our 1-800 number.
That would be the best.
Actually, some quilting experts on staff that I mean are extremely knowledgeable when it comes to quilting, and that I promise you they can. We sell a multitude of different robotics and different brands of machines, and I promise you we can help you out there. So, David, if you could put that 800 number up so they can get that number and just give them a call, because that's what they do. They answer questions all day long on questions just like that. So, again, I want to make sure that y'all comment if you want to get entered to win the hoop frame, and we're going to continue to talk a little bit about some of the Grace machines that we sell. And our most popular one, by the way, is that 15-inch.
It is, yeah.
15-inch, more than any of the other ones that we sell of your brand, and we've sold tons of the 15-inch. So I know we've talked a little bit about that. So kind of step us up and talk a little bit about the advantages of maybe going up to the other machines, and then what point may somebody go, okay, I want to go ahead and get a full-blown frame.
Okay,
what
for sure.
And what machine and what combination would be the greatest thing to get, and which one then I could graduate up, even if I wanted to later put robotics on it as well.
Absolutely. One thing I like to talk about with customers is, Blaine, I don't know what kind of car you drive, but I'm pretty sure it's not the same car you drove when you were 16. If I were to ask everybody online, we're normally finding that's the case. What I'm not saying is that we normally or necessarily spend more money, but like your sewing machines, once you find out you're looking at another function, you're willing to pay for the next level of sewing machine. It might be more stitching. It might be that you want to get into embroidery. But if you think about that process, you start at the beginning and then you build on that. And our machines do the same thing. So at the end of the day, all of the machines, yes, you could piece a quilt. Yes, you can quilt quilts. But what I like to talk about is, Blaine, how comfortable was your ride from point A to point B? If you and I are going there, we might get there in different levels of comfort. Maybe you have a V8, or maybe you have a leather interior with auto climate control. I'll tell you this, I will never have a car without auto climate control. Now, I didn't realize that until I had them for 10 years and didn't really realize it. And then I bought a car that didn't, and I was click, 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 click all the time on the knobs. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. So my car has auto climate control in it. Okay, so that was a convenience I wanted to have.
Hey, I can't even compare my cars now, because I lived on a gravel road and had a 1970 Ford Fairlane 500. And so, yeah, I can't compare. I know exactly what you're saying now, but I can't compare what I'm driving now. So I get it, and that's exactly the great analogy how you're doing that, because that's exactly right. Everybody has a start somewhere, even in cars. And once you get that, like you said, climate control or power steering or power windows and all these different things, you get spoiled. And that's what happens with quilting people. They get spoiled.
And it does with your machines. Think, ladies, if you're out there, or men, if you're out there and you're quilting and you're sewing, we're kind of always getting ready for kind of what's next. So let me kind of prefacing that with the machines. We've talked about the 15. Well, the next big step is the 19. And for us, again, I don't know if we can bring that back up online, but we went back. Yeah, we went back to the drawing board on this.
The 19, yes.
Yeah, to try to change the way that the machines can look and feel in the industry. So if we can maybe enlarge that picture, you'll notice it does not look like any other long arm that's out there, not even close. And what we started looking at is, why do they have to look so industrial? Why do they have to look, and the word I wanted to use is intimidating. Even our 15, being a smaller machine, still looks a little bit more intense. And what we find is that a lot of customers who are quilting on their domestic machines, a lot of them just don't even want to start looking at the long arms, because they're looking at pricing and functions and features, and they're like, I don't want to commit full time to quilting. And so this machine has been designed to look what we're calling a lot more friendly. It actually has about 20% less steel in this, and it's actually 15% stronger than the 15-inch machine. So this machine, we were able to thin it down and make it lighter and easier to use, and extend its throat so that you ended up with more quiltable space, and add the sophistications like we have on the handles that are adjustable. And we're able to do all of this along with performance enhancements, and do so and make it just, again, a little bit lighter and more convenient for the consumers to use. You'll notice that there are some plastics, and this plastic goes two ways. Some people are like, oh, it's not all metal. Yeah, you're right. It's not all metal, because we wanted to also make it look prettier. We wanted it to look like it should be in your sewing room. And so if you look at how sleek and slender this machine is, it's people refer to it as being a more approachable or friendly looking long arm in the industry. And so we've really done a lot to make it look sleek, to make it lighter, easier to use, easier to move, easier to interact with the touchscreen. So these are some of the really critical things that start to separate us when we move from a 15-inch machine into a 19-inch machine.
It is a great looking machine. I love how sleek it looks, and I like the two-tone colors, that kind of a lavender purple, light purple color with it. Really looks good.
Yeah, it does. Now, I don't know, again, if we were to look at some of the details, the handles, what happens once you start going from 15-inch machines, which is, X, and then you go out to a 19, is you might end up starting to lean over the frame a little bit when you're quilting, which is not good on your back. So this 19 has extendable handles. And so you can telescope those handles out so that you're more comfortable when you're quilting at the back area or at the back of the frame space than you are when you're up closer to you. And then if you'll notice in the picture that the handles can be adjusted from up and down, and they can be laid flat for micro quilting, and they're adjustable in their height as well. So there are several adjustments that can be made with the handles to personalize it for each and every quilter.
Yeah, that's really important, is to be able to move that, handles up and down. And will they do this as well?
They will, absolutely. Yep.
That's what I thought. So they'll twist, they go up and down this way.
And
so
then
you
in and out.
Yeah, in and out. And you can get it custom to, because what I've always, been told, that you're supposed to quilt with your arms at 90 degrees.
Yep,
you don't want to be
correct.
out this way. You don't want to be crunched in, but you want to just be very comfortable, like your arms would hang. And so that means that you can adjust this machine to fit custom to you.
Now, also, if you think about the handles, if you've been pushing fabric around, your hands have been laying flat. So by adjusting the handles and allowing them to adjust as well, it can also be a little bit more natural to how you've been moving fabric around. So that's another good plus that you get.
That's a great
with a machine like this.
Great point. So yeah, you could just turn them in straight like that, and you're still almost like pushing it, like you pushing fabric. So yeah, that's a great point, Nathan.
So I'm going to bring this up. This is an interesting point, and it's what it is. Everybody, if I were presented with 3 different cars, and they were obviously starting from the first car, if it was had less accessories, if it maybe was not an automatic and it didn't have power windows, and then I went to another car, and I was offered another car that had now power windows, and maybe it now had a little bit of a nicer interior, and then I went to a third car, and this third car had some additional features. Like right now in cars, you have safety items that keep you from maybe moving out of a lane, or it also tells you if there's a car. At the end of the day, I still really want car 3. Same thing with the machines. You sell a lot of different brands. when we're looking, we always kind of dream up, right? We're always dreaming up. And our goal is to continuously try to shrink the distance between the machines from a pricing perspective as well. So what we find is that everybody goes, boy, I really wish I could have the 19, even though from a financial standpoint, it might be a little bit out of their reach. We still have that 15. However, like right now, I believe, Blaine, that there might be a few things that we could share that would talk about some promotions that we also have going on with that 19-inch machine right now as well, to make it a little bit more affordable.
Yeah, we actually do. So why don't you tell everybody about the promotion? And we just did that. When did that launch? This week?
Last week. So started about a week and a half ago. First part of March is when this one came out. But some people aren't really necessarily in the market for just a machine only. Some are looking for combos. And so I'm going to tell you a couple things. One, what the promotion is on the 19, and then what that means if somebody were to buy that with the hoop frame on sale, which is even more amazing also. So. But I don't know if we can pull it up, but right now that 19 is going to be, it's on sale. We're selling the machine head for $5,999. So that one's on sale. And by the way, that's $1,000 discount off of its normal retail. However, one of the biggest things is we're trying to decide, well, how do we make it even a little bit harder to pass up? So we have a huge accessory bundle that we're also including in with this right now for those that buy this in the month of March. And so they're going to get the machine head, and then they're going to get this accessory package that comes with several other items. It comes with over 21 additional pieces. We're doing a larger light bar. So we're including a large light bar with this particular one. We're including extra sets of bobbins and needles, the horizontal spool stand. And then we also are including 12 spools, 12 cones of our finesse thread as well that we're going to be throwing in there with part of this combination, along with some pins for using with your leader cloths. And so this is an accessory package that's probably just right around $850 in extra value. And we're saying that if you buy the machine at $599.99 for an extra penny, we're going to throw in this accessory bundle also. So think about this: 19-inch stitch regulated quilting machine with an accessory bundle. And by adding the hoop frame, you're actually at less than $7,000. You're in the $6,989 range for a completed 19-inch machine frame combo that would be available for customers. So
that's awesome. That is incredible. And a lot of people, I know people realize how expensive quilting machines is, and I know some of them are up to $30,000.
They are.
So a lot of times people think they can't afford these things because, somebody tells them, oh, I bought a quilting machine. I paid $20,000, $30,000 for it. But I mean, to get into something like this for $7,000 and you're getting pretty much a Cadillac just on a small frame. So you could do anything you wanted to do quilt wise on that combo you just talked about.
Yep. And then again, you're not limited because you can also add computer automation if you want. And then there are other accessories. Now, Blaine, from your side, you guys make this a little bit more achievable for customers. I know you guys have several different financing options that you guys promote, or different type of monthly payments as well, right?
We sure do. We have a lot of different financing options. So if somebody wanted to, order it online, they can call in, or they can order, right online. And even talk to one of our chat. We have live chat, 5 live chat agents. So we have a lot of different ways that you can communicate to us. And we use a couple different finance companies, but our main finance company we use is called Green Sky. And I think is that on the screen?
Yeah,
okay.
I think that's there.
Got it on the screen. And Green Sky is one of the ones we use. It's a great company. So we have a lot of different type of financing we can do. And so if you want to call in, you can call our 800 number, and they can actually, get the plan that actually fits you the best. And we try to make it very easy for everybody. And if you wanted to get that, get into quilting and get your dream quilter, this is the time to do it. I mean, we've got these specials that you've got going right now are incredible. I mean, and like you said, that was probably the best sale that I've seen since I've been working with you that we had on the hoop frame. Light bar and the price, it's just incredible. And now this 19-inch with the bundle package for a penny is it makes that an extremely attractive package and offer.
Yeah, and I did see another question come up that was asking, I think, about the crown jewel from Baby Lock, and I'm guessing that's referring and asking about the frame. The question I would like to quickly just get back to this one from Pam on this one. Does it work on the crown jewel? And I guess maybe I don't know if that was about the automation of the frame. The hoop frame itself, the machine would need to be able to sit on the trolley, and the crown jewel itself has its own wheel structure and its own carriage. So that would not fit on the hoop frame specifically. When it comes to automation, the answer is yes to automation, that the crown jewel is something that automation can be added to if it's regarding the automation. So I'm not quite sure what that question specifically, frame or automation on that one, but just wanted to make sure we kind of answered that one for Pam as well. So
okay, well, good. Yeah, so I hope that cleared it up for Pam. Is there anything else about the 19 that we need to know, or can we move on up to the
next size?
Yes.
Let me, I'll just finish with the 19 by just telling customers as well. Some people, this does come up, and it makes sense on why this comes up with our products, but people generally, when they start seeing our prices, there's two things. Usually, wow, that's a good price. However, the other side of that, then they kind of go like, what am I missing, or what am I giving up on that? And I'm going to answer this in just a couple ways. I like to first tell customers that our whole brand has been built around, I'm going to call this QVE, quality, value, and experience. We're very fortunate. We're a small, I'm going to kind of refer to us as a mom and pop shop. We have a single owner. And our history started 35 years ago with hand quilting frames. And what we found is that customers wanted more. About 20 years ago, we consumerized professional goods. So what we did is we took the long arm market, which used to be, again, at that 25 to 30 range, and we made a wooden frame, which a lot of people probably know that they could take their domestic machines and put them on it. So we took this $30,000 concept and said, hey, how do we bring this into a home? And we did so at a little over $1,000. And then what happens is customers ask you questions, and they say, well, that's great, but I'm getting tired of squeezing this hand trigger to put my foot pedal down. Nathan, can you guys come up with an on-off button and a stitch regulator? And so we start designing that, and then we design, stitch regulation. And then they say, that's really great, but these other machines have this computer that can move them around. Can you guys come out with an automated system? So then we came out with the computer automated, and this process has continued to be part of our flow with our customers and our quilters. What we found out is, if you were to think about this, and it's changing now, but about 7 years to even about 3 years ago, when someone said, how much is a long arm? It's 10 grand, it's 15 grand, it's 20 grand. And what we found is that the person who is using their domestic machine, there wasn't a tool to help them kind of move through the process to make quilting easier. And so we came out with a 15-inch machine, and our goal was to have an affordable system at less than $6,000. And so that's what kind of drove us down the road. Well, then customers said, well, hey, that's great. And if you can make an affordable 15, can you make a more affordable 19 or a 21? And so we've done so. But in this entire process, we've never lost the quality. You don't get value. There is no value in a system if you don't have quality. And at the end, most importantly with our customers, is the experience. And so what we have found is that we've just been more strategic. We're not necessarily going to be the fanciest system out there, but we're going to tell you, we're going to give you an incredibly good quality product. Okay. And we're going to try to make that as easy, absolutely as easy to use. And then we want it to be able to build. So as you move down the path, you can build and add to your system when you're prepared to. So financially, it makes it a little bit easier. So I just wanted to kind of share that really quick before I got into like the next level machine, so that people can know, just because we have a more affordable price doesn't mean that you're not getting a high quality product. And we feel that our product and our quality is phenomenal. We stand behind all of them, as you would know, your teams and any customers out there, if they've ever had to call, we're incredibly concerned about the well-being of our customers and our products, to make sure that they're feeling comfortable and confident. And we have an 800 tech number that anybody can call at any time if there are ever needs or questions or concerns. So I just wanted to kind of quickly share that before I kind of get into the more professional style machines.
Yeah.
So.
I'm glad you did too. And and that's kind of what we feel like too. We, here, a lot of companies have policies or return policies and different things. And we have pretty much one policy, and that's find a way to say yes. we try every way we can, everything that we can do to help our customers and say yes to them and give them support. And, again, like your 800 number, they can call for tech support. They can call our 800 number. And we have some guys, our technicians here are all certified on tons of different brands of machines. But we have 2 guys that are just extremely knowledgeable in long arms. They're long arm experts. And our service manager is one of them. His name's Chris. And Chris, there's probably nothing about quilting machines he doesn't know. This guy is incredible. And so he talks about, what you need to get your quilting machine going. He even FaceTimes people with his cell phone when they're having a problem, and he can fix things over the phone a lot of times. So it's pretty crazy. And we have people that don't even buy products from us. We'll call our tech support line because they've heard how good our long arm guys are.
Yeah, and that's what I would say that we hear as well. And I think that, yourself, Blaine, and trying to drive this, and I know the owner, Ron, with the other owners are incredibly passionate. We are as well. And I think that's why this is such a great partnership as well. We like also partnering with companies that really care about the customers and want to make sure the customers are happy. So that's been great for us. So I'm going to move to the next level. We talked about 15, then we have this 19. We do move to a product, and we do have one that is a 21-inch machine. And we move into this category. Pricing goes up a little bit. The length between the needle and the back of the machine go up a little bit. The machine gets a little bit taller, and it has several of the features that we have in the 19 that have moved over to it as well. But in our 21-inch realm, that machine is going to give you kind of our top of the line experience. It would be one that you would need to buy. And when we talk about this, you would end up needing to buy that with a bigger frame as well, because this machine, being as large as it is and having the kind of depth as far as its ability to quilt from front to back, requires a little bit of a larger structure underneath it. So at this point, we would move to what we're calling our Continuum Frame, or our professional series frame. And there you can kind of see a picture of that combination with that 21-inch machine. That frame is 8, 10, or 12 feet. And so you can do clear up to king size quilts based on the size of the frame. But this is kind of where we start getting at the pinnacle. And something in this range, you're going to be between $10,000 and about $12,000 on a completed system that gives you, in essence, kind of the premium of the crop. No, you do not need to be a professional quilter to use this. Again, this is normally people, as they're moving through their journey, find that they want the most convenience. They want the largest quilting area. They want the most space possible. This machine only comes stitch regulated and only comes with some of those other premium functions and features that you find in that 19, but now kind of pushing the boundaries just a little bit more in realms of overall functions and the features it has. So
that is awesome. So they're just telling me right now that our show is almost to its end.
Okay.
How did an hour have already almost went by?
That's pretty quick.
It is crazy. I love talking to you, Nathan, and I learn something every time you come on. And so one of the things we want to do, let's do our giveaways, and because I know everybody's anxious to do that. So the first thing we're going to give away, we're actually going to give away, you know what? Let's do some packets. What do y'all think if we do some things together? So needle and thread all actually goes together to me. So we're going to do the 2 packs of needles, and we're going to do the fabric strips, and we'll give that away to the first winner. And who is our first winner, Kyle? It's coming up.
All right. And again, reminding everybody, right, if they're making comments below, they're going to be in this as an opportunity to win for this. Is that correct, Blaine?
That is true. Anybody makes comment wins anything that we have up here we're giving away, along with the hoop frame that you're giving away and the light. So that's awesome. Awesome gift. So we have a winner yet, guys?
Right there. There we go.
There. So Clovis Perkins, Clovis, you're our first winner, and you're going to get this. So what you need to do, so we make sure we get this to you, is just email us your name and your shipping address where you want us to ship it to CEO@SewingMachinesPlus.com, and we'll get this thing out to you ASAP. All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes. So who's our other winner? We got to give away So since it's all involved cutting, why don't we do the scissors and the rotary cutter combo? What do y'all think about that?
Well, that's a pretty good combo.
So there, because it's all cutting, they're going to be doing things with cutting. So let's get a winner, guys.
Right up.
All right, David. David's pulling us a new winner.
New winner.
And we got it.
Okay.
Look at that. Marietta Macquarie Austin. Congratulations, Marietta.
Congratulations.
Look at that. You got some scissors and a rotary cutter. What do you think about that? All right, guys. Our last gift. And email us your shipping address to CEO at Sewing Machines Plus. And then we're going to do this last small gift. We're going to do the tool caddy that fits on your quilting machine along with the ruler. So let's get us another winner.
Right up.
And then we'll draw for our grand prize today, which will be the hoop frame and LED light
bar.
April E. Taylor. So April, congratulations. You are our winner. So make sure you email me your shipping address to CEO at SewingMachinesPlus.com, and we will get that thing shipped out to you. All right, so do we need a drum roll, guys?
Yeah. Who's
Our
the
grand
winner?
We're getting ready to pull her up on the screen.
So now it's a $1,950, so just shy of $2,000 giveaway here. So it's a pretty big deal.
$2,000 total.
Just under, yeah, $1,950. So it's a great value.
This is for the hoop frame that any machine will fit on, and her light bar that's going to go over it. You can see true colors, and it has wheels. Pure King.
Pure King.
Pure King. Love it. Great.
Congratulations.
Job. So anyway, make sure y'all email me to CEO at SewingMachinesPlus.com and give me your full name and your shipping address, and we'll get that out to y'all immediately. And then we'll get the hoop frame it'll ship out of Utah. I think you're going to ship it directly.
Yep, I will ship it direct. Yep, we'll ship that combo package out to the winner. So
that is awesome. And Nathan, I can't thank you enough for coming on our show today. Again, 4 weeks ago we had you on. It was great. I learned some things then. I learned some things again today, and loved working with you and your company. You are first class all the way. You really take care of our customers, and you help us with a lot of promotions, and we appreciate that. And I can't say enough. And I hope you stay safe over there and no more earthquakes.
Same to you. Keep it going. And again, appreciate all yourself and your team's efforts. And again, we look forward to months and years of continued business. And again, all the quilters out there, we wish you well and wish you to be safe. Be wise with what's going on right now. And if there's a need to do any more quilting at home, we have some great tools you can get from SewingMachinesPlus.com. So.
Hey, and I want to put you on the spot before I let you go.
Okay.
So, in August, we've talked about we're going to have our new product launch party at the retail stores here in San Diego and San Marcos. And are you the one that's going to come?
So what's the date? That's the question. I know for sure it'll either be myself or most likely Mark Martin, who is my customer sales and relations manager. So
anyway, we're going to, everybody, make a lot of comments and tell them that we want Nathan out here. And we're going to put pressure on Nathan to come, but it's going to be our product launch party locally. So I know a lot of people would love to come and meet you in person. And but I'll send you the dates. We'll try to get all that worked out. And but we're going to have a bunch of demos and a bunch of food, and it's going to be a carnival atmosphere. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Anyway, thank you so much again. Hey, we look forward to seeing you, and take care over there.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thanks.
All right, guys, y'all got to hear it from the horse's mouth. The new promotions on the Grace, and hey man, we're so excited about it. So again, a couple things I want to reiterate. Make sure if you have a sewing tip or embroidery tip or quilting tip, you can email those to tips@SewingMachinesPlus.com, and if we read your tip on air, we're going to send you a $100 gift certificate that you can use online, or if you're local, you can use it in our retail stores. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is what we have going on locally right now. So locally, if you are in the San Diego area or San Marcos area, or with about 30 miles or 40 miles of our stores, you can either call in this weekend or next week and place your order in the store, and we will actually take your order, and if it's a machine that's $500 or more, we'll actually deliver it to you. If you just want to come in to the store and get any kind of accessories or anything that you're needing to complete a project, we're having what we call a drive-through service. So we have tents set up in the parking lot of both stores. You can just pull up to that store. Somebody will come out. They got an iPad with them. They'll take your order. You can give them, your payment method. They'll go in, get all your product gathered up, get your payment done, and bring you out the receipt with all your product. That way you don't even have to get out of your car. And we want to try to keep everybody safe and make sure that you can still, get your products. And our people, we're guaranteed the people that's coming out to wait on you are not sick. And they're going to have gloves on, and so handling your product, you don't have to worry about getting any kind of viruses or germs. And the other thing I wanted to tell folks what we're doing is, even in our warehouse that we're shipping things, nationwide, we have a climate controlled warehouse, and we're actually taking precautions in our warehouse with using gloves and actually sanitizing things that we're shipping out, just so to make sure there's nothing can happen. And then we're also making sure that nobody is sick. So anybody in our company that has any kind of even a sniffle, we're making them stay home just to try to keep all of our employees safe and all of our customers safe. So I just want to kind of throw that out there for everybody. Again, remember that we're going to have tips we're going to read off. We want you to send us your tips in so we can give you a gift card. And then we got the drawings that we're going to send out. Every show that we're going to do drawings. And so make sure we've got another show planned in 2 weeks. And our guest in 2 weeks, we're going to have Rhonda Pierce on here. And Rhonda Pierce is from, isn't it the date, David? Is Rhonda's the next guest? Yeah, Rhonda's the next guest. And she's from Smith's Needles. And if you've ever wanted to learn something about needles, this girl knows everything there is to know about needles. And she can tell you, all about the needles and what needles to use and different things. And I learned so much from her through the years of being around her. She's come to a lot of my trade shows and events that we've put on. And so can't wait to have Rhonda on board. And then we're also going to have our service manager, Chris Cooney, is going to be on. And Chris is going to tell us just some things that you can do at home with your machines between your maintenance time. We recommend, just like a car, that you take your machine in yearly and get a tune-up on it. And, if you use it, and just use it a lot, make sure you're doing that. Well, Chris is going to tell you some little tips and tricks that you can do between service time, just to keep your machines running tip-top shape and all that. So got a lot going on, guys. Hey, we appreciate y'all coming on. Look forward in 2 weeks seeing y'all again. We'll be on here again. And look out, because we have got a sale that we're going to announce for next week, I think, that's going to be in the stores. And we're also doing something very special online, because some of the events that's been canceled and the quilt shows that we were going to, Paducah, Kentucky in particular, was canceled. We have got a lot of excess inventory that are what we call event inventory. And so we're going to have some really good specials on some of those products. So stay tuned to our Facebook page. And if you haven't signed up for our email, sign up for our email and get our newsletter that comes out. And we'll give you all that information on there. But anyway, guys, I know we went over our hour time. We appreciate everybody staying on board with us today. And I stay safe out there. And if y'all need anything, give us a call. We so appreciate y'all coming on board today. And we appreciate Nathan again for coming on board today. So look forward to seeing y'all in 2 weeks. Guys, say bye from behind the scenes back there.
Bye.
Hope y'all can hear them. We'll see y'all later.